Welcome to Older Militarist Radio TV, and we're lifelong Catholics. And what we do is all for free, and for the love of Jesus Christ, and for our Holy Mother, the Church, and we'll defend our Holy Mother, the Church. Today we're going to be talking about the new war of genocide that is happening as we speak in the Republic of Artsakh, and we're going to give you some info on what is going on since yesterday, and little history to go along with it. Welcome, Brother Alexis.
Thank you, AJ, for having me on Order Militaris Radio TV to talk about this horrible genocide that is underway right now. And I encourage all the Catholics and Christians who listen to this program to share it on all media platforms, because you're not going to hear the accurate information the way we're going to give you here. But we've been following the events in Artsakh since 2020. And we're going to strip the entire narrative of all the propaganda and tell you what's really going on. So what happened on September 19th, AJ? How did this recent conflict begin?
Yeah, so the day before the 19th, with Russian approval and also Azerbaijan, some humanitarian trucks with wheat flour and medicine were allowed to go through and enter Artsakh. Then yesterday, around the time we are recording this, as we always do, Azerbaijan opened up with all types of weaponry at the cities in Artsakh, and then the ground forces between Azerbaijan and the Artsakh Defense Force have been going at it. And some parts they haven't been able to hold their own, but most of the areas they're holding their own.
Okay, now for those who don't understand, Azerbaijan is a small little country, predominantly populated by Azeri Turks, and it had only came into existence in 1917. The Azeris themselves are from Central Asia and only moved into that territory in the last few centuries, whereas Artsakh is a small enclave surrounded by that republic, which fought for its independence when Armenia became independent of the Soviet Union and the collapse of the Soviet Union. And the Armenians have been living in that part of the world for 10,000 years. And the Armenians have been Christians since the 3rd century AD. They're the first Christian nation to convert. So who lives in Artsakh, AJ, and what have they been suffering the last 6 months, and how dire is their situation?
So it is predominantly, I would almost say 100% Christian. And since December, they have faced starvation, they have faced thirst, they have been cut off from all necessary medicines and medical supplies, and with the attack going on and with the supplies already limited, not many will actually be able to get proper care inside Artsakh from injuries of war.
Now, if you've been following Order Militaris Radio TV, we told you in December that this blockade that Azeris started was precisely to break the people down so they could be genocided. So we were way ahead of all the news. Most media is not telling you this because the Azeri state is backed by the Rothschilds, who control media in the West. And Al Jazeera did a report that's just ridiculous. We might talk about that later. But first, what are the current casualties as of this hour?
Yes, so let's get back. Okay, so according to the information received, the medical institutions of Artsakh, as of 2100 hours yesterday, there are 138 injured people, among whom are 29 civilians, 112 injured people, the Children's Hospital of Stephankirk, 11 injured, Market Regional Hospital, and then, let's see here. Yeah, and 28 people have been killed so far.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's pretty obvious that this attack by Azerbaijan on Artsakh has the purpose of genocide. We say that because it's the Azeri government has made it quite clear they want to control this entire area and they want to make it Azeri. They don't want Armenians or Christians to live there. And yet, for 6 months, they haven't let Azeris leave. I mean, they haven't the Armenians leave. So that's not someone who wants to ethnic cleansing. Technically, is when you drive out a population from an area, and you might kill a lot of people in the process because you're using totally unjustified force to do an absolute crime against humanity. But you let them go. If you don't want to let them go, this is just human slaughter. This is mass murder. This is a Holocaust. Now, who is militarily backing Azeri government?
Israel, Russia, Turkey, state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, the Oklahoma National Guard has been there years, helping them train, allegedly doing certain kinds of projects. How could they, who are the few nations that are actually honestly interested in the independence of Artsakh?
Is the Armenian people and Armenia proper, and the Armenians in the United States, in Europe, and around the globe. Almost everywhere, the nations are calling it Nagorno-Karabakh to help to be friendly to Azerbaijan.
Yeah, and Al Jazeera did a horrible report hours ago where they wouldn't even call it Artsakh. They wouldn't even call the local population Armenian. And they interviewed a journalist out of Tbilisi from the United Kingdom who has a really dubious background. Forster Walker, Mr. Forster Walker, who doesn't look like an Englishman to me. He looks like an Ashkenazi. Okay, I'm an anthropologist, so that's a professional estimation. He's backed by people out of Oman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if Al Jazeera is actually backing Azeris, they must be Rothschild controlled, and the whole Islamic world should wake up to this fact that Al Jazeera and the Rothschilds are united in this war to kill Christians. Because generally speaking, the Muslims in the Middle East aren't about killing Christians. The Melkites and the Maronites have lived in Lebanon for 2,000 years, and they haven't been exterminated. Same thing in Iraq until only recently, the American wars there, which were basically backed by Israel. What can we do from the United States or from Europe to help these people in their plight, AJ?
It would a lot of the hardline Republicans who are who are against helping foreigners get their freedom, like in Ukraine and such. But it would almost have to be another boots on the ground situation where the nations of the West go in, side with the Artsakh Defense Force, and literally clean house and get rid of the dictator terrorist leader of Azerbaijan, and also demilitarize Turkey.
Now, a lot of us in the West think we have Christian governments, but you can see that this is not the case. If Israel was surrounded an area of Palestine, was ready to genocide 120,000 Arab Palestinians, the whole world would be up in arms. You would even have the media talking about it. So where's the Christian world and where is the media outrage of what's going on in Armenia? Because you can't even construct an argument that Armenians haven't been there for 10,000 years, which is longer than the Jews have been anywhere in Palestine. Okay. And they have been in continual settlement. They were never driven out by anyone. So this is an outrage. You should write the political heads of your your government. You should write your ambassadors to Azerbaijan and to Armenia and insist that this be stopped, that this aggression be stopped. And from a humanitarian point of view, the only thing that can be done is hope that the Azeris open the frontier and allow refugees across. I expect that to be the case, because their intention is to drive these people out. And that means Armenian charities already on the ground in Armenia will be the ones who will be able to help. And we're looking at maybe 100,000 individuals who will be fleeing in the onset of fall. It's not warm there anymore. They're in the high mountains. And so Ordo Militaris has started an Armenian relief fund for refugees in 2023. This is our third fund to help Armenia. And I ask you to be generous. You can donate by PayPal, which is using any credit card. You don't have to have a PayPal account. Or you can donate by Wise, if you have the Wise app. And if you do have a Wise app on your iPhone, you can use Apple Pay with that. Or you can do it by bank wire through any app you have that can do bank wires. Or you can just go to your bank. And AJ will put the link in the show page. AJ, I know you feel very deeply for the Armenian people, so I'll let you have the last word.
That the Armenians are doing all they can to stand up for Artsakh, even in Armenia proper. Last night they were going up against the thuggish dictator police force of Pashin to protest. Pashin being an appeasement to Azerbaijan. And it's going to take them to wake up, to throw out the traitor, and to get a true Christian government into Armenia, to revive that spirit of the first Artsakh War, where Armenians from all over the world, mostly America, came, fought, bled, and gave Artsakh its freedom. Book we were talking about a while back, Otto, I forget what his name was. He said, if Artsakh falls, that will be the end of Armenia. That is where the heart of Armenia is. That's the mountains. And just thinking on it, what brother said to me in a chat before the show about Our Lady of Lost Let appearing to mountain children at the time she did it. Maybe it wasn't just for the West about Our Lady of Lost Let coming with Antichrist and Rome, but she appeared to mountain children. And her first children ever to accept the faith were mountain children in Armenia. So I think with this blockade, though, the Armenians in Artsakh have returned to their faith. Every Sunday, every day, the churches are full. So even though it's been an evil, but it has restored their faith. To me, Saint Gregory the Illuminator, Saint Michael, take up the sword for Armenia and Artsakh. Do as he did for the Ukrainians in Ukraine while the Russian war is going on, and stop the Azerbaijanis literally and physically, as he did with those rockets in Ukraine.
Thank you, AJ, for having me on Ordo Militaris Radio TV. And please like, share this program, and make a generous donation.
Yep. This is Ordo Militaris Radio TV signing off. Deus Vos.
Deus Vult.